Join us as we delve into some of the hot topics that both unite and divide us. We won't always agree, but let's commit to having those difficult conversations and open up some thought-provoking dialogue so that together we can start the process of getting back together. Listen, we've thought about it. We've even thought about it. Now let's talk about it with yours truly, James Kirkland, on the Intellectual Stew. Okay, everything's hunky-dory. You got your retirement set. You ain't gonna never have to worry about no bill. Lisa, I ain't reading all that. No, I'm gonna read it. Lisa, can you just break it down in little morsels and pits? But I'm just playing. I believe sometimes. Hold on, let me read what Lisa said. I believe sometimes that in a temporary emergency, preparedness, involuntary, voluntary in life, eventually I hope to get paid for my service. Okay, all right. Sometimes I think Lisa be writing for y'all, but I'm suffering to it. When I get through with this suffering, I'm going to be able to look in my tool belt and I'm going to say, I got that. I got that. She said, nope, I got that. I got that. And all of that came on the heels of experience, right? Does that make sense? So did you really understand what experience does? Experience does something that ultimately ends in what Paul says becomes patience. We get patience because we experienced it. Right. I was much more patient with my third child than I was my first child. Lord knows. I just had a flashback. Lord knows I'm much more patient with that one. But because I made my mistakes on the first one. And then I did a little bit better with the second one. And by the third one, okay, whatever. Go ahead. Push the button, whatever. That's when I tell Mackenzie, I got Trey, Kennedy, and Mackenzie. Trey and Kennedy, they would be like, Daddy, what would happen if I push this button? But Mackenzie be like, I pushed the button and then this is what happened. Different mentalities, right? Totally different mentalities, right? Totally different mentalities. But both are effective. And as a parent, you let them choose and then you cultivate the choice. Does that make sense? I was talking to somebody today. He said, man, how do I get these kids to go outside? I said, I don't know. He said, man, I'm really asking, what do I do to make them go outside? I said, find out what they like. I want them to do this. I said, what if you want them to do something they don't want to do? And then they're going to grow up and resent you. I said, let them choose. And then you cultivate the choice. Who's courageous enough to do that? Right. I mean, if your child, has a musical ear and decide they want to play the violin, are you going to go buy them a violin? You got a Trey and a Mackenzie? Okay. I got a Trey Mackenzie and a Kennedy. Now, mine doesn't have a Y. His real name is James III. We just call him Trey. And my Mackenzie is Mckenzie. Those are my babies. And then I got a Kennedy. But yeah. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. Cultivate the choice. God does that for us when he allows us to operate in his permissive will for so long. Now, we operate in that permissive will until we decide to accept his will. Once we accept his will, then the permissive will is null and void. Does that make sense? I shouldn't have said that. That's going to mess up somebody's theology. I shouldn't have said that. Listen, this open mic night, I've talked about the breakthrough long enough. I've been talking about the breakthrough for like 48 minutes. And I promise this is supposed to be open mic night. Lisa, what else y'all want to talk about? Corey, give me something to talk about. No, I ain't talking about no Diddy. I ain't talking about but the breakthroughs, man, breakthroughs. And I really want you to listen. I sense that God is really about, in this season, is really getting ready to take people to another level. I think people that have suffered in this last season that thought their suffering was in vain, I think they're getting ready to start to experience astronomical victories. I think that victories are going to start coming. You're going to start experiencing wins like no other. I think your meal barrel is never going to run dry. I think some really get ready to experience some astronomical victories, but it's going to come on the backside of a breakthrough. Somebody said something to me yesterday, Coy, and I had to listen to them. They said you get right to your point of breakthrough so many times, and then you walk away. Why won't you walk through the door? I'm telling you now, and I'm saying it in front of everybody that's listening, I'm walking through it. Now, as I walk through it, I invite you to walk through with me. Listen, when I've been teaching you and I've been talking with you, I don't just tell you my story. I don't just tell you stuff just to be telling you. I tell you my real life. I tell you, no. Okay, Dennis, let's talk. He said it's a thin line between giving your child control over their life and trying to guide them into greatness. Absolutely. It's a very thin line between the two. But the key word you just said is guiding them into greatness. A good guide does not guide them into danger, right? But they guide them into places they can develop them, right? Because as a parent, you see way on ahead. You don't see now, you also see next, right? And so in seeing next, you kind of construct the plan to get them the most out of what they're trying to do. Now, I'm not saying give them control. I'm not, because they're not supposed to have control. But I will say give them a say. Does that make sense? Does that make? You said, yeah, Lisa. So it's time to go get through this breakthrough. But we have to realize that your suffering season has not been in vain. In fact, so now my challenge is to get out of the grace gap, learn how to receive grace, and then once we receive grace, then we'll give grace. Now, Dennis, I watch what you're doing with your daughters. Now, you play D1 basketball. You played at Kent State, and you guard, and I'm sure you taught your daughter how to get her handles, and you taught her how to do a layup off one leg. And then when you saw she was good enough, you took her out of rec ball and put her in travel ball. And then when you put her on one travel team and you saw she was better, then you put her on a more competitive team. And you saw those things, and you've been there the whole time. I did the same thing with my son in baseball. I remember I used to coach him, and I had a loud voice. And one time, and we were in a white league, and Trey was going to make All-Star. And the white coaches came to me and said, James, we want to put him on All-Star, but we're scared that you're going to get us in trouble in some of the tournaments. Now, old James probably wanted to cuss them out in English, Spanish, and Pig Latin. I wanted to cuss. I mean, and I'm a pretty good cusser when I decide I want to do it, but I didn't think about me. I thought about my son. And they put my son out there, and he played baseball, and he was 8 years old, I think, then. And he had played shortstop all year long. But, they like to put us in the outfield. And he had never played outfield in the first 2 or 3 games. They kept hitting him pop flies. He's dropping them. And then after the game was over, I told the coach, I said, if you put him in a position to be successful, or at least teach him how to play outfield, I think he'll be okay. Well, we got into the tournament after losing the first 2 or 3 games, and we got into the bracket play, and they took the 2 little African-American boys that were in the outfield and put them at shortstop and second base. And all of a sudden, man, we went on a run. We didn't lose we won like Pony League. We won so many games. I mean, just killing. But I had to shut my mouth, put him in a position to win, right? And then when he got a little older and we put him in travel ball, then sometimes my presence was the present. I just had to be in the atmosphere, because I had to put him in a position to win beyond just me, right? And that breakthrough was different, because it involved, I had to have some tongue band-aids, because there were times I wanted to say something, but I couldn't say it like I wanted to say. Now, I say it a lot. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I embarrassed them a few times because I was very protective of my children. I paid for that bat. I paid $70 a week for him to get batting lessons. So I didn't want just a random person telling him how to hit, and that would be embarrassing to them sometimes. But I'm like, as a parent or as a dad, I see something you don't see. And I hate when sometimes they try to understand on their level and haven't been. Does that make sense? I don't know. Because sometimes they can take things so personal. But I don't know where I went on that one. But listen, open mic now. What else? Anybody else got something else they want to talk about tonight? Because if y'all don't want to talk anymore, I might have one more thing to talk about. I might have one more thing to talk about. Then I might not, or I might keep talking about this breakthrough. What y'all want to do? Y'all tell me what you all want to do, because I want to. What y'all want to do? What you all, Dennis? Let me ask you a question. Well, I'm trying to go back to what you said. You said it's a thin line between giving them their control. So, what to Dennis? Let me ask you a question. What do you think? What does giving a child control over their life look like? Conjua said you're talking on some basic stuff. I was thinking my question was, how can you know who is really from God without judgment of others? You got to break that down a little bit more for me, Conjua. I'm just rambling tonight, Corey. I appreciate you. I miss you, Corey. That's my buddy. Corey was like my co-host forever. She ran off and left me. But you're talking on some basic stuff. I was thinking, my question was, how can you know who is really from God without judge? Oh, okay. Well, that's a good question. I could take that. Well, Scripture teaches us that a tree is known. Good night, Marsha. I appreciate you. A tree is known for the fruit that it bears. So if you look at a tree and a tree is not bringing forth good fruit, that's not judging. Like if I Corey lives in Florida, so she, they got orange vines and whatnot. So she walks up to something and the fruit on it is oranges. She's not going to mistake the oranges for apples, right? And she's not going to say these are supposed to be apples because these are oranges. And if she wanted apples, she would go somewhere where an apple tree was, right? So if you're trying to figure out if someone is from God, you probably at that point not necessarily need to become a judge. Good night, Alicia. I appreciate you. You're not necessarily a judge, right? But you might be a fruit inspector. And it's okay to inspect fruit. Does that make sense? It's okay to, because a tree ought to be known by the fruit that it bears. So if you see them sowing seeds of corruption, I'm putting the website back in here for those who didn't get it earlier. I just redid the website, so y'all go there and subscribe and shop whatever you want to do. You can go there, get the book, you can get t-shirts, all those types of things on the website. Yeah. So Conjua, that's what you're looking for. You're looking for fruit. That's what you're looking for. And for years, personally, Corey, I've been teaching them about the grace. You're not going nowhere. That was from Marsha. Okay. For the last few weeks, Corey, I've been teaching them about the grace gap. And I say some of us keep ourselves in a position where we're unable to receive grace because we're in the grace gap. But the grace gap, thank you, Dennis. The grace gap, Dennis, I know you know it by heart by now. I'm gonna give it, but I'm gonna give it to her. I would ask you to give it to her, but I'm going to give it to her. The grace gap is guilt, it's resentment, it's anxiety, it's condemnation, and ego. As long as you're participating in these 5 things, then those things will prohibit you from receiving grace. And the thing about it is, it's crazy how we penalize ourselves and place ourselves in a position where we feel like we don't deserve grace, when Scripture already says that it's by grace that we're saved. He gave us, it's a free gift. We ain't have to buy it. We ain't have to barter for it. We didn't have to beg for it. It's like, it's free. And it's unlimited. You can have as much grace as you want because he died. That it's there. But because we're guilty, I feel like we're guilty, because we're going through resentment, because we're practicing anxiety, because we're participating in condemnation, because we walk around with this big old mask on, this ego that makes us look one way in person, but when we go home and we take off the makeup and take off the wig and take off the lashes, you look a whole hot. No, I ain't gonna say that, but does that make sense? But when you really, 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 really get real and you recognize that who you are and how far you might have fallen, you might even had a conversation like I had when God told me, Kirk, you fell before you got up. That lets me know that I didn't fall too far. If you've even fallen, once you look in that mirror and you start focusing, when you start to focusing, and you start to say, okay, these are flaws. I need to fix this. Not with filters. Because I've seen filters make Heavy folk look skint. Let me shut up. Corey said, is it necessary to, she said, it's all about your personal relationship with God. Is it necessary to know who is from God? And you're right, Corey, because if you're from God and they're from God, then real recognize real. That's how y'all say it in the streets. Kindred spirits start to attract. You know what I'm saying? When I'm around people that certain people trouble my spirit. If I'm in your presence and I'm not talking or I'm not participating in the conversation, number one, I don't think you're gonna go half. I don't know what that was. Some fly. I think I got a fruit fly or something in here. Y'all see me reaching for the. Oh, you couldn't even see my hand. I told on myself. Yes, I agree. But I was telling certain people I am. Got it. But he won't fly around here no more. Yes, I agree. But I was telling certain people I am going by what God shows me. God knows how we need to receive. Oh, you just knocked her comment down, Lisa. God knows how we need to receive the word. I think our Holy Spirit is our protection and comforter from God. Absolutely. Ain't no think that's a no. You can know that one. Yeah. I agree with that wholeheartedly. Let me see what Lisa's essay is this time. I'm dealing with the son who is bipolar. And let's pray for Lisa in this regard. And lately his anxiety has gotten worse and he's experiencing paranoia, but he won't let me help him due to pride and status. I'm all out of clues. Yeah. And at that point, that's that, and unfortunately, that, I know it don't seem like it's the best advice, but all you can really do is pray, and trust God. But I can't even begin to relate. Hey, Lisa, I'm going through the same thing. Yeah. I like when y'all start talking to each other. Listen, if you don't want to talk, the phone number's right there. The link is pinned. I'll let you come on now. I'll let you come on and say something if you want to say something. Mental health is very hard to deal with. Absolutely. His condition hinders him from accepting sound decisions. And that's what mental health is. Poor mental health is when you're presented with a scenario and your brain doesn't make a good decision in that moment. It doesn't. And you start to mental health becomes healthier as you start to make better decisions. And you can do work to do those things. And that's why I think they do medication and all those things, but mental health is real, and I mean, mental health, I think I think it's a little more subtle and dynamic at the same time, if that makes sense, because some of us have downplayed it. We'll say that Uncle such and such was touched or, and all that kind of stuff. But that was the one, but he wasn't the only one that was touched. And then when you start to consider some of the traumas that people have faced, I've spoken with so many women. I don't know why they confide in me, but I appreciate it. But so many women who were violated, sexually abused growing up, by family members. And I'm learning more both men were. I'm thank God for my family. Lord have mercy. People and those things, you carry those traumas because as you experience those childhood traumas, you develop your attachment style. And so as you grow older, when it comes time to attach to others, you struggle with attachment because of those traumas. Some of us had to face things, thank God, thank you, Daddy and Mama. But some of us had to face things young in life that no child should have had to go through. And when they went through what they went through, when you went through what you went through, you've had to carry that your whole life. And it's not fair. There's no reason you should have had to go through that. Lisa said, we've been there as a child, but as an adult, he's thrown harsh adult temper tantrums and the family turned their backs on him. But we're all in his face when they heard he's about to sign. Oh, okay. He's a musician, an artist. And that's what people do. And that's the thing about it. People, it amazes me, Corey, because I know you're in the medical profession, but it amazes me, when people try to understand autism. And from what I understand, autistic people think on a higher order. They think on a different level. But we have to give them medicine to slow them down so that they can keep up with us. Is that how that works? I don't get it. And because so many parents don't understand it. And I was talking about this earlier, Dennis, because so many people don't understand it, they don't know how to cultivate it. Right. I know a few mothers who've had dealt with children who are autistic, and they did research. They found out, they found what would make their children more successful. I know one mom in particular, whenever the children would take standardized tests, they had it worked out where they could listen to jazz music, to kind of calm their mind. It involves research. It involves doing the work to create the atmosphere that's conducive to construct what you're trying to construct in your child so that you can get the maximum out of them. But because you don't understand, listen to this, what people don't understand, most times they're afraid of it, so they try to kick it, kill it, or cage it. Does that make sense? What people don't understand, they are afraid of, so they try to kick, kill, or cage it. Why? Because they can't control it. Man cannot create an understanding of the unexplainable. Why are you not on this show tonight? Man cannot create an understanding of the unexplainable, but God has a plan and a purpose. Absolutely. But I hate when man gets involved and starts trying to alter God's plan because he doesn't understand it. Why? Because of what I just said. What we don't understand. If everybody understood from a Christian perspective, we'd be cool. But unfortunately, we live in this world, and in this world, the church, Christians, we're minorities, right? But we still have to function in this world and not be of the world. But those that are in the world, there are times that because they don't understand something, they try to kick it, kill it, or cage it. Don't make sense. 5 plan to allow accommodations for things like listen to music. Yeah. But you work in that sphere. You understand that. Some people who don't understand that. You got parents who don't understand, and they're whooping their children because they think the child is acting out, but the child has a mental issue. And I ain't never seen a belt cure mental issues. I've seen a belt cure a bad attitude. But if you're not equipped, this is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about getting on open mic night. I like these kind of conversations. They start just flowing and developing organically. When you don't understand, that's why some people, Alicia, they really need to give their parenting cards back. I watched this little girl one time. I've told this story before, but this little girl in the store, we were in Walmart, and she was all of 21, 22 maybe, and the little baby might have been 3. But the baby was doing what babies do, trying to touch candy. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. Instead of smacking him, stop doing that. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. I said, stop jerking that boy around like that. You be quiet. This my baby. This my baby. I said, yeah, you keep doing like that. You're going to make him, you're going to raise him. I said, you're going to raise him. He's going to take it out on everybody that look just like you. Stop doing it. She got real quiet. You got to stop doing it. Messing. And I don't know, Pastor Evans, you let me know. Can abuse, because I would say discipline, but I don't think that's discipline. Can abuse contribute to mental illness? Alicia, you work in that arena. Pastor Evans, you work in that arena. Can abuse, like spankings and yelling at them all the time, can that lead or contribute to mental illness? Let me see what they say. Call in and tell me, or if you want to, or not. You can type it right there, either one. But can that contribute to Cora said yes. Lisa said yes. I'm waiting on, I believe both of y'all, but I'm waiting to see what Pastor Evans and Alicia say. I know Alicia's a therapist, and I know Pastor Evans is a therapist. Yes, abuse can lead to all types of mental health issues. Alicia said he will continue to do it until she teaches him differently. We said all types of mental health issues because yelling and beating. But the thing is, all you do is grab his hand. Now, but when I walked in the store with my son, I mean, because I remember one time, I'm giving you one more example, and I'm probably going to get off here in about 5, 6, 7 minutes. I'm going to give you one more example. My little nephew came to visit us one time when my mom was alive. God rest her soul. And my nephew, my sister, my mom, my ex, all of them, they all went shopping. And I came home and my ex said, that little boy, he's bad. He pulled out his little thing and used the bathroom at the door. He pulled out his little thing and he used the bathroom at the door. I can't need your mama whooped him and da, 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 da. I said, did he tell y'all he had to go to the bathroom? My mama said, yes, but we were shopping. Da, da. I said, he told you he had to go to the bathroom. I said, Mama, have you ever told him that you would whoop him if he used the bathroom on himself? She said, yes. Now, these are only two questions I asked. She said, yes. I said, but you couldn't stop what you were doing to take him to the bathroom? Yeah, he pulled it out and did. I would do the same thing. But when he went places with me, I kept him within arm reach, definitely within eye shot. And whenever he made a decision, he would look at me and then point to whatever he wanted to do or ask whatever he wanted to do. And then I would nod because he was seeking my approval, right? Because of the connection we had. Totally different. I mean, he didn't pull out. And when he said he had to go to the bathroom, guess what I did? I took him. Right? Because I understand he's a child. And I understand do you see what so we cultivate. I don't know how we got on this subject. How we get on this subject? But yeah, trauma is a part of mental. Yes, she said trauma is a part of mental health. I'm acting like I'm preaching it. Yes. Lisa said I was diagnosed with severe PTSD without psychotic features. Okay. I got you. And how do you manage it? How do you manage it, Lisa? Since you put it out there, I wouldn't. How do you manage it? I was abused, not beaten. There's a big difference. Beat in the back with an extension cord and TVs and high heel shoes. Jesus thrown at me. I forgive and respect her, but I stay away from her because she hasn't changed. Wow. And the thing is that happened a long time ago, and you still remember it. That's how trauma affects us. That's how trauma affects us. And most of us make it through life trying to put on masks, Jesus, just to cope, to look like everybody else, at least look the part. Because I don't want to look like what I've been through. Because if I look like what I've been through, ain't nobody going to like me. Ain't nobody going to want to be around me. Ain't nobody going to be in my presence. None of those things, because you don't see that Jesus was very specific when he met the disciples on Damascus Road, right? He did something that a lot of us can't do, Alicia. He did something a lot of us can't do, Conjure, Lisa, Pastor. Corey, you know what he did? He showed him his wounds. I'm going to put that up, Lisa. You see what Dennis said. What Jesus did, Dennis Pittman, he did what a lot of us don't do, especially as men. He showed them his wounds, right? He showed them, because Thomas was a doubter, and Didymus. Thomas was a doubter. He said, except I see the nails in his hand and the piercing in his side, I won't believe. That's what he said, right? Why are tears coming out? He said, I won't believe, right? And so Jesus said, okay, cool, I got you. Let me see. Put your hand right here. Thrust your hand into my side, right? So a lot of people don't experience, a lot of people won't believe it because you've covered up the wounds. And you covered up the wounds because you didn't want nobody to see the wounds, right? Because if they see your wounds, then they'll know you're touchable. They'll know you're human. And so we put up this superhuman mask, this ego that lets us know, or that makes everybody else believe that everything is okay when it's really not. And Pastor Evins, it's okay that it's not. Because if it's not, you know what you need at that moment? Recognition, right? Recognition comes before revelation, right? When I recognize where I am, and I recognize how far I've fallen, and I recognize the mistakes that I've made, and I stand in the mirror and I say, God, forgive me. And then I ask God to forgive me, and I know he forgives me. And then I turn around and forgive myself. That's the process. That's part of the process that starts to catapult me and propel me into my next season of life. Because the reason why you stay stuck in the same season is because you fail to recognize that, yeah, you've been wounded. Let me see what Dennis says. Dennis, I have a question, big bro. Is forgiveness real? Pastor Evins, hit that link and come on in here right quick. I need you. Hit that link. It's if you can. Yeah, I need you. I feel this. I feel this. Let me see. He said this, and I want y'all to help Dennis out in the chat because I'm a little full right now. Y'all help him out. Hold on. He says, I have a question, big bro. Is forgiveness real? If I forgive you, but I change my behavior according to what you did I really forgive you? Or just because I verbally said it, I forgive you? Well, Dennis, they taught us something in school called compound sentences, right? And some of them were compound sentences with conditional statements, right? You just said, is forgiveness real? If I forgive you, but I change my behavior according to what you did I really? If the infraction caused me to care enough to change my behavior, I think forgiveness is real. Does that make sense? If the infraction was enough to cause me to contemplate changing my character or changing my behavior, because I think forgiveness is real. I think forgiveness is real. And I think forgiveness becomes more real when we learn how to forgive ourselves. Once we have experienced, if we give grace to ourselves, then I think it becomes easier to give grace to others. And part of that entails and involves being able to, I think it. Did anybody else think forgiveness is real? I'll stay on. I told him I'm coming to work late tomorrow, so I'll stay on for a few more minutes. That took me to continue searching my heart. Okay. Lisa said, and let Lisa can preach from the chat tonight. She said that took me to continue searching my heart until I knew I forgave my mom and stepdad. I honor and respect them, but I stay away to avoid negativity. And you have that right. You can call. You can call, or you can come in on the video. The video is right there. You're welcome to. Because maybe I didn't understand your question. You can welcome to call or get in the video. I prefer you to come on the video, but if you want to call, do what you want to do, little bro. And if Pastor Evins, I'm gonna send you this link. And if you want to come on, like I said, I really love his perspective. Hold on, Dennis. I'm inviting Evans if he's available. If he's not, that's okay. That is okay. I'll be liking help to answer these questions sometimes. Dennis, I'm ready for your call whenever you're ready, sir. I am ready for your call. Ready for your call. An error occurred. I'm singing old school gospel. Ready. If you've not liked this comment, like this, or reacted to this, or hearted this, please do that real quick. I see 9 people watching, but I only see 6 reactions. If you haven't liked it, and if you haven't shared it, please share it. Please share it, because they might not catch it now. They might have to catch the replay. But these are some good conversations. Help me understand your question, little bro. The link to get on the chat or to get on the video is right there pinned to the comments, and that's for anybody. I'm not discriminating, and I'm not going to put you on blast or anything. I'm gonna let you talk. Now, like I said, if you get out of turn, then I gotta execute the kick button, because I do have certain standards that I try to adhere to. Come on, Dennis. Where you at? Dennis said he want me to understand his question because I misunderstood. I'm not answering it correctly, so I want to be able to answer it knowledgeably. And if I get it wrong, okay, I got 8 people that like it now, so it's 2 more people that haven't, because I see 10. Let's go. If you haven't liked it or hearted this post, please, ma'am, please, sir. Remember, what are we doing tonight? As y'all remember this always, this is our mantra. We are, if you ever forget, this is our mantra. We're on the path to better. Dennis, tell me you need the phone number if I didn't give it to you. Or if you tried to call and something went wrong. Nope, you haven't tried to call yet. All right, who is that? Did you just call and hang up? Try one more time because it says I'm receiving calls. Yeah, this is part. Some of us forgive, but it doesn't exclude trauma sustain. Absolutely, and forgiveness doesn't mean that you have to, restore the relationship. It doesn't mean you have to restore the relationship. Who is okay? That's somebody calling. Hold on. All right, I got you, Dennis. You there? I'm doing good. Let me bring Pastor Evins up too, okay? And then we're gonna get you started. Pastor Evans, he said good. I love it. Y'all be dropping bombs. I got Pastor Evans. Yeah. Hold on. Let me put Dennis in this conversation, y'all. And this is what this show is supposed to do, y'all. We're supposed to be bringing in. I want to hear you all talk. So don't ever be ashamed to call or anything of the sort. Hold on. Can y'all hear him? Hold on one second. Hold on. Can y'all hear him? Say yes or no. Somebody say yes or no. Can y'all hear him? Talk, Dennis. No, they can't hear. I got it. All right, there we go. You up now.
There we go. Are we good now?
Y'all can hear him now, right? So drop a 1 in the chat. No, drop
1, 2.
Now can you hear him, Kawana? Drop a fire in the chat. Y'all still can't hear him?
Is that we good?
No. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Hold on. Cause I don't want to put your phone number all over the world. Oh, now y'all can hear him now. Okay, good. These responses are delayed. Okay, yeah. Good. All right, come on with your question, because I got to put my friend on the spot. He's gonna have to answer your question tonight. Go ahead.
All right, that'll work. Is Pastor on there too?
He is.
Oh, my guy.
Talk to me, Pat. You can hear me. You can hear me, Dr. Evans. I can't hear you though.
Yes.
Okay. He's good. We're good.
Okay. So
yes.
My question is, if somebody does something to me, and I say that I forgive them, but I change all my behaviors afterward, did I really forgive them, or is it just something that I said to act like it's okay? If I'm not the same as I was before, did I really forgive you? Because if I forgave you, we should be able to keep going the way we were. But if I changed my behavior towards you, did I really forgive you? And of course, you have the saying, fool me once, shame on me, fool me twice, shame on you, whatever, however the saying goes. But if I change my behavior after the infraction, did I really forgive you when I said it's forgiven?
That's a good question. And Pastor Evans, he blinked out. So hopefully he'll come back in and help us with that question. You all hear the scenario. Brother Pittman said, did he really forgive you if after it's over, he changes his behavior to it? We're not able to rock like we used to rock. Things, the dynamics of our relationship has changed because I know that you did whatever it was that you did. Pastor Evans, you can come back in when you get a chance. Y'all come on back in. Come on back in. All right, Coy said something. Let's see what Coy said first. Dennis, you still there, right?
I'm still here.
All right, okay. Coy said, just because you forgive doesn't mean you're a fool. Doesn't mean you're allowed back in my circle. So she's saying you can forgive. You taught me where to put you in my life. Okay. Lisa said, not necessarily. There must be mutual positive change to continue relationship. Now, and that's the thing. I don't know if you have to continue the relationship. Okay, here comes Pastor Evans. Let's see what he's going to say. Hold on one second. Are you there, Dr. Evans?
Yeah.
All right. So did you hear the scenario?
No, I am hearing. Yes, but I'm hearing two things going at one time. I don't know how to stop it.
Is your phone on or something? Can you turn the volume down on your phone?
Hold on.
Anybody else in the chat that wants to answer Dennis's scenario, do that as well. Is that better, Pastor Evans?
I think everything is down.
I can't hear him.
You can't hear him. I hear him. I can hear. We can hear him, Dennis. So
Oh, I'm hanging up. I got to hear what my guy got to say.
Okay, then you get off. I think I can explain it. I think I can explain it from here. I appreciate you, Dennis.
All right.
All right. Yeah. All right. So Dennis is gone now, y'all. All right. What did I just do? Okay. So it's just me and you, Pastor Evans. All right. Did you hear his scenario? Pastor Evans, you can't hear me?
Yes.
All right. Did you hear his scenario?
No, I didn't.
All right, I'll tell you what he did. He said, if you did something to me and I forgive you, or I say I forgive you, but I change all my behavior towards you as far as how we used to hang out and do all those things. I don't do those things anymore. Did I really forgive you? And that's what he wants to know. Is forgiveness real from that perspective?
If there's no animosity towards the person, then I believe that the forgiveness has been granted. Now, whether or not the relationship can be restored to what it was before, that may be the issue.
Yeah.
And there are some instances in which the relationship cannot be restored to what it was before because of the violation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think, Dennis, I think that's the part we need to understand. It's okay if the relationship isn't restored, right? I mean, because I can forgive you and put it into a place where it no longer hinders me. The thing about it is when I fail to forgive, then I've kind of put myself in a position where I've assumed the role of a judge. I've assumed the role of an executor. And that's just not a role that I want in somebody's life, right? So when I release them of that obligation, or when I release them of that infraction, I've released them spiritually, I've released them emotionally, I've even released them physically. Now, if we decide to work on the relationship going forward, now I'm gonna use this as an example. My ex-wife forgave me, but we're not getting married again.
No.
But we can have a conversation.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Pastor, have anything else I touch on tonight that you think we need to really address or highlight before we get out of here tonight? Because I'm not going to be on much longer. I know we touched on a lot of mental health things. So, anything in?
No, I mean, mental health is just what it is. You have to take care of your mental health, just like your physical health. And there's usually help that is accessible, and we just have to take the necessary steps to get the help that we need.
Yeah. I think that's good. All right, Charles. Y'all say good night to Pastor Evans. He jumped on real quick. Still got his sweater on, shirt on, everything. He was good to go. Did you have to go put a shirt on right quick?
Yes.
All right, my friend. I appreciate you. You have a good night, man.
Take care, though.
All right. Yeah. So, Dennis, I hope you got your answer. Listen, y'all know what I want to do next week, and I want y'all to think about this. Next week, and I'm getting ready to go because I'm tired. But next week, I want to talk about silent sufferers. I was supposed to do that tonight, but I changed my mind. I want to talk about silent sufferers because I think so many of us, especially as we're seeking to get these breakthroughs and whatnot that we talk about, I think so many of us suffer in silence. But we're real good at wearing masks. I mean, real good at wearing masks. And so as we get on this path to better, and as we get closer to our breakthroughs, it's going to involve taking the mask off and being comfortable with who you see in the mirror. And I think it's possible. I really do. I think all of us, we're on the path to better. I think it's possible. I know it's possible. You know how I know it's possible? Because it's happening for me. I'm in the process. I'm on the path to better. And I promise you, those that know me, I don't look like what I looked like this time last year. And I'm telling you, you can only imagine what I'm going to look like next year because I'm on the path to better. And if you're on the path to better, yeah. Hey, do me a favor. But next week, let's get ready for silent sufferers. Those of you all, I have on the website, when you go to the Intellectual Stew page, at the bottom, I have testimonials. And I have a few people who have given testimonials, and I put them on the website. If this show blesses you, send me a little testimonial or go to the page and review it, whatever. But send me a testimony. If you want to go on the webpage, some of you all I will allow. I can't say I ain't gonna lie, because some of y'all write 2-minute longer essays. I'm just joking. But if you send me a good picture and a nice little write-up, then I'll put that testimonial on the website. And then I notice you all in the chat, right? I notice those who support. You know, some of you all send cash apps, and some of you all purchase T-shirts. I'm still gonna be funny looking. That's fine. You know, they're laughing with me instead of at me. But some of you all support. You come to my events. You know, you buy T-shirts. Some of you purchase my book. All those things. I see all those things. And so if you might be on the website as, you know, the Stu Crew member of the month, you know, I got somebody on there now, and they're on there this time, and next month it might be somebody else. But if you would, let's grow this community. If you're on the website, go ahead and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, do that. Subscribe to Stu Crew so I can start sending out updates and all those types of things. I want us to grow together. Yeah, do y'all want to grow with me as we're on the path to better? Yeah. So that's what we're gonna do as we continue to do this. It's time to go. Next week, silent sufferers. If you're one of those who suffer silently and you want to be a part of the show or part of the platform, reach out. Lupus. Some people go through that. Yeah. That's right, Alicia. We may fool others, but we will never fool ourselves. And sometimes we might be a little, you know, I think sometimes if the mental health isn't healthy, delusion will step in, and sometimes people will fool themselves into believing that there's something that I might debate you on that one, Alicia. I know you're a better debater than I, but I might debate you on that one. Just a little bit, gently, gentle debate, not hard, just a gentle debate, Yeah. So it's been real. I hope you all enjoyed the show tonight. If you have not purchased your The World is Changing, Why Do You Remain the Same t-shirt, let me show you what it looks like real quick. You can go to the website and see it. You can reach out to me and I can send it to you, or there it is. You can reach out to me and I'll send it to you, or you can order it through the website and they will send it to you. Okay. Either way is fine with me, but I want you to be a part of this movement. I'm thinking about doing a contest. On the t-shirt. I'm thinking about doing a t-shirt. Corey, let's talk about that. I might need your help with something. I want to do a contest on The World is Changing. Alicia, let's talk about this. The World is Changing. Why Do You Remain the Same t-shirt? I want to see who might come up with the best blog. And whoever comes up with the best blog or essay, whatever they want to do, I'm thinking about giving a cash prize. Yeah. Maybe a t-shirt and a cash prize for whoever does the best, most creative blog with that statement. The world is changing. Why do you remain the same? I'm thinking about doing that. I might need some sponsors on that, but let me pray about that for a week. But some of y'all that y'all gonna have to sow if y'all really want to get blessed. All right. But let me get out of here. I'm going to go. As I always say, Corey, you're not on here. I would have you say it for me, but you're not. So I got to say it. The world is changing. My question for you is, why do you remain the same? Y'all have a good Intellectual with James Kirkland. Powerful and provocative. Prophetic and practical.
Have you ever found yourself
informative and inspirational? How you gonna do better if you don't know what better looks like? I do. Come on, let's talk about it with me, the mind massager.